Hello everyone and welcome to the GMS Magazine channel. I am Paco Garcia, your host, and this is the RPG A Day 2021 edition. Today I'm going to talk to you about innovation. This series of videos, I just want to say this at the beginning of every video, is thanks to Mr. Dave Chapman, who invented this initiative 8 years ago. And it is all so we can talk about role-playing games every single day during the month of August. And this is all done by blog posts and videos like these and myriad others and podcast episodes and tweets and Facebook groups and all sorts of things that I hope you will go out and take a look at, because there is some absolutely fantastic content being produced right now. But let's go on to this. Innovation. Why does it matter? And why is this absolutely pivotal? Except that no, it isn't. The truth is that it isn't. And it pains me to say this because I love innovation. I love when I see a role-playing game that comes out with a different mechanism, with a different way to approach the same tropes in the past, or that modifies and changes things from one edition to the next. I love that. It keeps me going. Love it. But the fact of the matter is that we could still be playing, the older editions of the games, and they would be just as playable as they were back when. But innovation plays a very important role in role-playing games, even though strictly speaking, and I know I'm reaching, strictly speaking is not necessary. And if you ask an awful lot of people who still play games from 30 or 35 or 40 years ago, they will testify that, yeah, it's still doable, you don't need it. But the fact is that richness in variation, that richness in the diversity and the evolution of the games that we play, the way we play them, how we're playing them, what they try to tell us, it's actually quite key for one reason, and is that society advances and people think, act, react, need things different. In 1991, 1992, when I was really heavily into AD&D, I had plenty of time to read. I didn't have the massive obligation of this job that I have today, or keeping up my home because I was living with my parents at the time. I didn't have social networks to actually distract me from doing anything else at all. I had two hobbies: role-playing games and 3D animation. That's all I did, and comic books. So I could read a lot, whereas today I can't. I just don't have the time or the mental energy to swallow a 400 pages tome in 2 weeks. I just can't. I would love to, but I can't. So innovation, a different way of playing the same game, a different way of approaching the same mechanics, like for instance the Black Hack does with the D20, or how the Cthulhu Hack does with the Call of Cthulhu games. Without that sort of innovation, I wouldn't really try new games, because I don't have time. I just don't. And I don't want mega complicated mechanisms. I want simplified, really streamlined, brought down to the bare core, the bare minimum, and let me do my interpretation of everything else. So innovation is necessary, because we are not the same people that we used to be in the past. People who are 20, 25, 30 years younger than me who are playing role-playing games today may not enjoy the same experience that I used to have, because we live in a completely different society. We have changed. We have evolved. We have advanced in many, many aspects, and we can't expect that things are going to remain the same, because that becomes stale becomes rotten. And I don't want that to happen. That's why I feel innovation, it is not necessary, but it kind of is important and a pivotal aspect of how RPGs, the industry, the fandom, the community has changed within, because there has been that sort of innovation. So yeah, it isn't necessary, but it is. So next time that we see a new edition of a game coming out, or a new system, rather than, why don't we take a look? Let's find out, how does it make our gaming lives better? How is it going to contribute something positive to the way that we take a look and we enjoy our hobby? Because, you got nothing to lose. You always have what you had. If the innovation is not what you needed, just ignore it. But let's not think that innovation is not important, because even though it is unnecessary, it definitely is very necessary. I'll talk to you tomorrow.